Hi guys, welcome back from your Christmas and holiday festivities. The last video I made was on Christmas Eve, and I had talked a little bit about possible triggers that we will have over the holidays with so much extra activity and foods and being around a lot of people and interrelational issues with family and all of that. And I had a wonderful Christmas, but I definitely was challenged and still dealing with some of the sensations from the different things that occurred. But it was great, and I hope that you guys did well. I've actually chatted personally with a couple of different people, and it was definitely a challenge for a lot of people. But we kind of knew that that was to be expected. But we have to look at it, I guess, as just more opportunities to train, when we go through things that are hard. It's an opportunity to retrain our brains. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about self-conflict. For some reason this has been on my mind, and you could even go as far as to call it self-hatred. That's a strong term, but self-conflict, self-hatred. I think most of us who have limbic impairment, we tend to be perfectionists. We tend to be people that have really high expectations for ourselves. We're type A personalities, and when we're well, we tend to be the types that push ourselves really hard, and we really expect ourselves to perform. And so this can be a tough personality. These can be tough personality characteristics because they end up setting us up for potential anxiety and fear and those things. A couple of years ago, in my not my brain retraining journey, but in my health journey, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, I had run into some videos. I can't remember what this was called. I think it was some kind of German study or something, but they were saying that self-conflict can actually be the root of autoimmune type illnesses. And when they looked at the brain, like on brain scans and stuff, they saw that people with autoimmune problems actually had certain parts of their brains that were like lit up or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it does make me wonder how much of a factor this is in people with limbic impairment, this self-conflict. The way that I'm looking at self-conflict is when we have any kind of avoidance, resistance, running away from things, fighting things, we know that those are all things that we're supposed to change when we're brain retraining, because all of that resistance in ourselves, all of that tension, they're all contributing to the limbic impairment, to the anxiety, to the stress, and to the sensations and symptoms in our bodies, because there's so much going on internally. So I wanted to read a little bit about self-conflict and conflict in general. So I'm going to read a little bit here. Most people dread conflict. They experience it as uncomfortable and stressful, something to fear. As a result, we learn to avoid, suppress, or withdraw from conflict, or even act as though it doesn't exist. Rarely do we choose to see the existence of conflict as positive and see that it presents an opportunity for us to move forward, if only we are willing to face it and deal with it effectively. And then just skipping over a little bit, usually when we think of being in conflict, it's between people, between us and our boss or coworker or spouse or child. But even more often, we experience personal inner conflict within ourselves. Simply put, inner conflict is when you're battling with yourself. These are the frequent daily inner contradictions that we all experience, whether or not we are conscious of them. And there's more, but I think you get the idea. But I feel like that is definitely an issue with brain retraining. This inner conflict, this inner battle with ourselves, like listening to that inner voice that says, you can't do this. You're not good enough. You don't measure up. Something's wrong with you. You're different than other people. You know, those kind of negative thoughts that we get. And self-conflict and self-hatred, I mean, it can come from our childhood. It can come from the relationships in our family of origin. It can come from things that have happened along the way in our lives where somewhere along the line we just feel like we're not good enough, and we have this conflict inside. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have had some of that self-conflict where you're just battling yourself all the time. You know, it's hard to make decisions. It's hard to feel calm and settled and just at peace with yourself. And you know, it's hard enough when we feel like we're in conflict with another person. I don't like conflict at all. And that comes from my childhood. I don't like conflict. I don't like problems in my relationships. When there is a conflict, I feel very anxious, very stressed out, very uncomfortable until it's resolved somehow, or at least passes. I don't like it at all. But what about when there's conflict with yourself? When you're literally not dealing with yourself. Maybe we're not dealing with our own feelings. We're pushing them away. We're suppressing them. We're fighting them. We're resisting them, our feelings. Or we don't even like ourselves. We don't accept ourselves. We're critical of our personalities. We're critical of our appearance, our bodies. We don't like our own voice. We don't like our hair. We don't like whatever things about ourselves. And I feel like when we have that kind of conflict going on where we're not even accepting ourselves and loving ourselves, that's a big problem. Because even in brain retraining, the whole thing about stop resisting, accept and allow, accept where you are in your journey, accept who you are. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't be angry and frustrated with your own feelings or where you are in the journey. And if we're constantly in that self-conflict, resisting and battling our own selves, that can definitely, in my opinion, have an effect on our brain retraining and on getting the system to calm down, getting our nervous system to calm down and relax. Because if we don't have peace with ourselves, there's going to be this inner turmoil. I know for myself, over the course of my life, I've had a lot of that inner turmoil. We really need to find peace within ourselves where we can sit with ourselves in a loving, gentle, calm way and really say, I accept who I am. I accept how I look. I accept my personality. I love myself. I care for myself. And I'm not going to battle myself and fight myself anymore. You know, and this might take spending some time with the Lord and praying and asking Him to really show us what is going on in our relationship with ourselves. Because we can look all around and look at our relationships with our spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, child, daughter, son, cousin, coworkers, bosses, landlords, whatever. But to really take a look within at our relationship with ourselves I think is probably the most important relationship that we need to look at. So that's what I wanted to share today, guys. Tell me what you think. Have you struggled with that in your life? Or at least are you aware that you've struggled with that in your life? So thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.